Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Estee McCrawly coming with another video. This time we got some more double battles here on the battle spot, and I'm still rocking my dual weather ball team, and we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. My first opponent had a team of Latios, Milotic, Zapdos, Sylveon, Bisharp, and Kangaskhan. So a pretty standard team. Kangaskhan, Bisharp, and Sylveon are pretty common. Zapdos as well. The two tech Pokemon, I guess you could say, are Latios and Milotic. I've seen quite a few Milotics. Latios, not really. So he's got quite the interesting team. The water ball fire is going to be important here. The water ball or weather I'm sorry, weather ball water wouldn't have hit anything on his team for super effective damage. So with the water ball fire, I'll be able to weather ball fire. I'll be able to hit the Bisharp because that's a big problem. It's been a big problem. So the only way I have to take care of it would be here. I don't really like it, so that's why I bring 3 Pokemon that can take care of it in Hitmontop, Charizard, and Roserade, because this thing's just given me tons of problems in the past. And he's probably not going to expect the Weather Ball Fire, so it's going to be a good way for me to take care of it. So right off the bat, I lead with Hitmontop and Charizard, and he leads with Zapdos and Kangaskhan. 2 things to note here. One, it came out in the Cherish Ball, meaning it's from an event, but his pressure didn't activate, so he's static. So I'm scared of hitting it with a fake out, with hitting it with any physical moves, because I don't want to get paralyzed. The Cherish Ball gave it away, but also since his pressure didn't go off, we know that his ability is static. So right here, I just go for the Mega Evolution. We both Mega Evolve. He Mega Evolves first, meaning he's faster, which isn't the end of the world, but it's what we'd expect from the Mega Kangaskhan. And obviously he goes for the fake out, and he targets down the Hitmontop, which was interesting. I was expecting him to target Charizard, but it's okay with me. I went for full offense. Unfortunately, Kangaskhan avoids the Heat Wave, which is kind of who I wanted to hit more than the Zapdos, but we do over half to Zapdos, which is fantastic. And he goes for the Thunderbolt on him on top as well. So this kind of tells me he's got Bisharp in the back, that he's scared that, and it tells me that Bisharp might not be Focus Sash, or he might be scared of the fake out close combat. I don't know, but kind of tells me he's got Bisharp in the back. That's why he's trying to protect it so much. So here, I just go for Feint onto Zapdos because I don't want him to protect, and I go for Heat Wave, and he switches out into Latios, which is a pretty good switch since it's not very effective, and Latios has pretty good defense, and he brings back in the Kangaskhan. So the way he's playing is kind of interesting because he hasn't revealed his last Pokemon yet. But I mean, Kangaskhan, you switch in and out for fake out pressure. I understand, but I switch into Clefable right here. The Protect here wasn't very good. I thought it was, but I kind of panicked because I was running out of time. So he goes for the fake out onto where the Hitmontop was and hits Clefairy. And the Latios goes for Thunderbolt and the Charizard. So it ended up being a good Protect, but I had no reason to Protect. So I go for the Follow Me because I want Charizard to stick around for a little bit longer. So Thunderbolt goes into Clefairy, not enough to take me out. So Kangaskhan also goes for Return, most likely targeting down the Clefairy. So Clefairy got 1 Follow Me off, which was pretty good, because I'm sure he was expecting to take out the Charizard, or at least do tons of damage to it, and I get the Heat Wave off, which is going to do some incredible damage to both Pokemon, mainly the Kangaskhan. We also get the Burn, and that's pretty much, that renders Kangaskhan useless at this point. Then I go into my Hitmontop. I want to keep Roserade still, because I want to see what his last Pokemon is, and there's nothing I can really do to hit his Pokemon with, especially with Latios. He can just go for a Psychic on me and deal some rain damage. So here with Fake Out, I was deciding what I wanted to hit with Fake Out, and I was like, Kangaskhan's not going to be able to do too much damage, and Latios has a little bit of health. Maybe if I Fake It Out, I can knock it out with Heat Wave, and he gets a crit on that first return, so the Burn doesn't matter too much in the end because it bypassed the Burn and the Intimidate. And I take out Latios with the Air Slash, so it was kind of a risk, because if he protected, I wouldn't have gotten anything off. But we see his last Pokemon is the Bisharp. So the Sun ran out that turn. So I switch out into Roserade, predicting a possible rock type move or sucker punch. So that's why I go for feint here as well. I was like, I think I can take Kangaskhan down enough to where the burn will take him out, and he does go for sucker punch, which is fantastic. So I didn't take any damage there. I mean, and I wanted Hitmontop to go down. This was like exactly what I wanted, because now Kangaskhan's going to go down, and Bisharp's hardly ever. No, it's not going to go down next to me. I thought it was, but at this point, I'm like, okay, if I knock out the Bisharp this turn, it's over. So, because the Kangaskhan's going to feint, and Kangaskhan doesn't have any spread moves, and Bisharp usually doesn't carry any spread moves either. So he targets down the Charizard just as I was predicting and hoping, because now my Roserade, or I believe his Kangaskhan is going to outspeed me. Yeah, and it goes for the return. So this is where the burn and the intimidate really come in handy. He doesn't even do half. So with burned, and I get the weather ball off right here. He obviously wasn't expecting it, which is going to be, we saw he was Life Orb, no Focus Sash, goodbye Bisharp, and then his Mega Kangaskhan is going to feint from the burn damage, and that's going to be a clean 0.50 since Roserade's at half health. That's going to be a win for us. So I feel like the way I played that was pretty good. I preserved that Sun there at the end, which was key. Also, the Sucker Punch, I don't know if it was probably going, well, actually, it was probably going on the Charizard, because he targeted down Hitmontop with Return. So he's probably going for return, hoping to knock out Charizard. I don't know if it would have knocked me out. Bisharp's really strong, but I was hoping to bypass the Sucker Punch. Maybe he went for Sucker Punch on Hitmontop and also Return just to make sure he got a knockout. I don't know, but I feel like I played that pretty well. The Weather Ball catching my opponent off guard. He obviously wasn't expecting it. But at that point there wasn't much he could do anyways. The best play for him actually would have been to knock out the Roserade, and hope for a miss with the Heat Wave onto Bisharp. So if he knew, and he might have done that, because that would have been his best play. That was the only thing he could have done. So we got to pick up a win on the first battle, and now we're going to move on to the second battle. And this one, another interesting team. We've been going up against more Mega Kangaskhan's. This time, because as we get up, it's like the more common meta Pokemon, common meta Mega Evolution. It's got Fake Out, really strong. So this time we got Kangaskhan, Sylveon, Arcanine, Rotom Wash, Cresselia, and Talonflame. So as I'm here, I'm like, okay, Excadrill is key. Well, not necessarily key, it is a beast in this matchup. It hits 5 out of 6 Pokemon for super effective damage. No, excuse me, 4 out of 6, but he can bypass Cresselia's Levitate with his ability Mold Breaker. Same thing with Rotom, which is going to be nice. It's going to hit, and I mean, you guys can see what the other Pokemon he's going to hit with super effective damage. So I see with Weather Ball here, Weather Ball Water could come in handy since he's got Arcanine and Talonflame. So we got to be, and I decided to bring him on top here as well to deal with the Mega Kangaskhan. It could be, and also the Talonflame, I could switch it in, get an Intimidate off, potentially save myself and whatnot. He decided not to bring the Sylveon, probably because I don't have any Dragon types, and he opted not to bring the Talonflame either, which is understandable. I mean, there's not. I still think it would have been better to bring, because it would be able to take care of my Roserade and Hitmontop, and Excadrill if he's got a Fire type move. So we're gonna go ahead and get started now. And Mega Kangaskhan's a little bit of a pain to deal with. I've been getting lucky with some burns on it, but it's what you'd expect after with like Heat Wave and stuff. So he leads Arcanine and Kangaskhan, and they lead Hitmontop Politoed. So this is actually a really good lead for me, because I can ult this Pokemon for super effective stab, and I get the Intimidate off. Arcanine can be physical or special. I mean, it can run Extreme Speed, it can run Flare Blitz, but it can also be special with Flamethrower. I ran one that was special. So he's actually going to switch out. He actually goes for a double switch, so he didn't like his lead at all, which is understandable. I was at least expecting a Fake Out and maybe a switch from the Arcanine, but I go for Fake Out into the Arcanine slot, because I was thinking was carrying a Rocky Helmet, and I also go for the Scald, trying to pick up the knockout, and right there we get the burn. which is going to be a really nice burn since Rotom's a little bit bulkier. And the only thing I have to take care of well, I guess I have Excadrill as well, but it's going to be nice residual damage over time. And I switch out Hitmontop into Roserade, which was a risky play because if he did go for a Psychic type move, that would do a lot. But I was expecting something I wasn't expecting the Toxic actually, but that was actually a perfect turn for me. I got the Protect off on Politoed, and I ate up, well, the Toxic missed, but I would have eaten it up anyways. So seeing that this Rotom has Volt Switch, it could signify that it is some sort of choice item. Especially with that damage, since I'm a Assault Vest, I was thinking maybe it's choice specs. And so he's immediately going. I was expecting the Arcanine to come back in, so that's why I went for the Weather Ball. I revealed it, not too big, well, a little bit unfortunate, but I still did tons of damage. And I mean, that's incredible. That's base 100 special defense, and I did that much damage. And I Encore the Cresselia. I was thinking maybe I'd go for Toxic onto Politoed, and then I could switch in my Excadrill, and both my Pokemon would be immune. But he goes for Ice Beam, which isn't too big of a deal. It's not going to deal that much damage, especially when I switch in my Hitmontop. I get the Intimidate off onto Kangaskhan, and he's finally going to Mega Evolve, so he's going to go on the offense. Probably going to see. I'm predicting a Fake Out into Politoed, but he actually goes for Return, so he really doesn't want Politoed around. Not sure what Politoed did to him, but he's not going to be able to knock me out because of the nice Citrus Berry and the Intimidate. With Intimidate, that might have been enough for him to take me out. But we do see the Ice Beam come in onto the Hitmontop slot, or where Roserade was, but it's not going to do anything. I get the Scald off. I was just covering a switch. I didn't know if he was going to switch it or not. I was thinking maybe he'd go for Arcanine. I don't know. So I go for Scald, and now he's going to bring back in Rotom. So he's really keeping that Arcanine safe in the back. So I want to switch out my Politoed because it was like the same thing with last battle. I want my Politoed to come in and set up the rain again, just so because I doubt this match is going to be another five or six turns. So I go for Fake Out here into Rotom so it can take more burn damage, and because Cresselia is not going to be able to do too much. He goes for another Ice Beam into Hitmontop. And this time, and so there the rain goes out. So now I can switch back in. Or next time I switch in, my Politoed is going to bring up rain, most likely for the rest of the battle. So here I go for Faint, just to break, or in case he goes for Protect, and also because I'm expecting so that the burn damage would take him up. But he actually goes for Volt Switch, and I'm like, okay, that's perfectly fine with me, because I mean he saw I broke the mold. It said so when I came in. So I was like, okay, well, he does have Intimidate, so that's going to be good. But I still go for the Earthquake, or I actually go for Rock Slide here, predicting this, because I didn't want to hit my Hitmontop. Maybe that's what he was thinking. But so somewhat, I mean, I guess it would make sense since I wouldn't want to Earthquake my own Hitmontop, but I still wasn't afraid to. I wouldn't be afraid to knock out that Rotom, but I felt like the Faint burn play would have been better. So here I switch in Politoed. In case he goes for a Fire type move, I want to get the rain up. And I'd like to have Excadrill and Roserade as my last two Pokemon. So here we see the Will-O-Wisp. So I'm glad I switched out. It's going to be nice not being burned with Excadrill. And I go for the Stone Age, but I miss. Pretty unfortunate miss. And here he goes for Toxic. And because he has no fear of getting Encore since he's faster than me. So I do take the burn and poison damage here. So he actually has Snarl here. So I was like, oh wow. And unfortunately for him, Politoed holds on with 1 HP. So, and my special attack's gonna get lowered, but I do connect with Stone Edge this time, and it's not gonna be enough to knock him out. I don't get the crit. So, and he actually has Citrus. So I was like, this whole time I was scared of him having the Rocky Helmet, but he actually had Citrus this whole time. So here he goes for another Ice Beam, fearing a possible Encore, I'm sure, since the two Pokemon I have in the back are immune to Toxic. Not like he could poison anything anyways, but unfortunately Hitmontop sticks around 1 turn more. I actually wanted the Devil Switch to come in this turn, but so here I'm going to break the mold again, and I go for Faint, because this time I want Hitmontop to go down. And I just go for Faint to break a possible Protect, and he misses the Overheat. that's nice, but it's not game changing since it would be in range, so the damage would be halved. So I do some nice damage onto this Arcanine, and I did some nice damage onto Cresselia as well. I was thoroughly surprised. So all we've seen from, I was realizing that the Cresselia never went for Psychic or Psyshock onto Hitmontop. So this thing probably doesn't have Psychic. The only attacking move it has is probably Ice Beam. So here I go for the Double Protect, since he's gonna die from burn damage this turn, and I didn't want to risk. So you see, like, he obviously prioritizes the Rosary there, since that's gonna do probably. Well, the thing you're gonna see why in a little bit. I mean, obviously Rosarade's the more powerful Pokemon, but I do go for the Weather Ball since that's my most powerful move, since it's going to be boosted. And I also go for Iron Head here. I didn't want to risk a Rock-Slide Miss, and this is going to be more powerful. And as you can see, I take Rocky Helmet damage, so this thing was most likely physically defensive. So his play might have, if he had Moonlight, his play might have been to stall me out, and then Moonlight, and so I could take Rocky Helmet damage. But so that's why he prioritized the Rosary there at the end. That was kind of his only way of winning. So somewhat of a close battle. I mean, I felt like these last two battles I did a good job of like keeping weather and like prioritizing that, not letting them go down. So I have weather late game, so I can send off a powerful weather ball and whatnot. And I feel like I got pretty lucky with the burn onto Rotom to get that residual damage. But even then, like, if his Rotom didn't, I'm sure if his Rotom was at full health, one energy ball would have knocked him out, and Hydro Pump, Ice Beam wouldn't have knocked out Roserade. So somewhat lucky, but I still feel like I played well, used my Intimidate well, stuff like that. So anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys want to battle me, let's go ahead and let me know. But that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.